For the Wii, the Star Wars, the G.I. Joe, and the Legos, like $500. Hey everybody, this is going to be a video of stuff that I got at a garage sale last weekend. So what happened here was I had messaged somebody on Facebook that had an ad, and I asked them if they had any video games or Legos that they wanted to sell. They said they had a Wii, and they mentioned that they had some Star Wars figures that they wanted to sell, and I could come by at 11 o'clock, which was an hour before their garage sale was actually opening. I went there to go get the Wii and the Star Wars stuff. She had also mentioned to me that she had some G.I. Joe stuff from the 80s and then some vehicles and a few other things. I didn't really think too much about it, but the rest of this video is going to be me getting everything that we got, and then at the end we're going to go through everything that I purchased and how much we think it's worth and what our potential profit is. So let's jump into the actual footage of picking everything up. How are you doing today?
Not too bad.
So I'm here to look at the Wii.
Okay, Mike just went in to get it.
Okay, cool. And then you had some Star Wars stuff too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Looks like it's going to be a lot warmer than that.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like almost 90 today. You mind if I take a look?
Sure, go right ahead.
Almost 90 today is what they're saying. Okay, cool. Looks like all the cords are here and everything, so. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely get that.
They're dirty.
That's what happens with old stuff. I'm used to seeing that at garage sales. Yeah, these are cool.
They are the original.
Like 70s and 80s.
70s. Because our son was born in 79, and when we got them, they were actually at a closeout at Toys R Us.
Really?
We got rid of them.
Okay.
And that's why we,
It's cool that you still got the box for this one.
just for that one though.
Yeah. So you said you weren't sure about the Star Wars stuff. How much do you think you'd want for it?
Well, before we moved here, I had checked prices, and at that time, it was over 100. If we could get 75.
75?
I put them in bags so the pieces would fit.
Yeah, with
together.
the accessories. No, that's good, because I think a lot of the times with the old toys, people lose like the guns or the little things that go with each figure. And then you also mentioned you might have some G.I. Joe stuff. Do you have any of that?
We've got it.
Is it like the 12-inch figures or like the 3.5?
They're just-
Yeah, like the smaller ones.
Yes, they're not the big ones, no.
I'd be interested in those. Now I don't know if you're ready to get them out or anything, but
We probably have to have you give us an idea. Do you want to take them down? And if you don't mind going down and...
Sure, I'll take a quick look. I will definitely get this stuff though.
Okay.
Just in case anybody else stops by.
Over by the table.
Okay.
Were either of the boys interested in the Lego sets?
They weren't, and I don't know that Amelia and Caroline ever will be.
Because I was interested, and I give you a good offer on them, but I didn't know if you'd want to sell them.
What's your good offer?
Okay, so at this point, I'm kind of guessing with my offer that I'm putting together in my head. I know that there should be some decent stuff in the Legos. I didn't really look at it in detail at all. I just saw a bunch of Lego sets on the shelves and knew that they were older. There's a ton of G.I. Joe stuff. Again, I don't know much about it, but I know some of it can hold some decent value. I know the Wii stuff pretty well, and then I knew a little bit about the Star Wars stuff, but not all of it. So the offer that I'm putting together in my head right now is just kind of a random guess, and I knew they were kind of hesitant on selling some of the stuff, even though they said that their kids didn't want it. So I decided to put together somewhat of a respectable offer, at least for not knowing if the Legos were complete or what's in there or the G.I. Joe stuff. And here's what happened next. I mean, for the G.I. Well, what were you thinking on the G.I. Joe stuff?
We've never even considered selling them, so...
I mean, for the Wii, the Star Wars, the G.I. Joe, and the Legos, like $500? I don't know.
Okay. That seems very reasonable. Cash.
Yeah, I've got $500 in the car.
And all of the Legos downstairs?
Yeah, there's some boxes, and then there's, I think, a box of like figures, right, with a horse and some stuff.
Yes, yep.
Would that be okay?
Yep.
Okay, there's 500 for you.
Wow.
What's that? I do. I sell, I trade, I buy, all kinds of stuff. So I always bring extra money to garage sales because you never know what you're going to find. All right, well, thanks. I appreciate it.
Hey, take care.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, guys, so it is the next Friday after we got all this stuff, so it's been a week. I've taken a decent amount of time to go through the Legos and put them together and make sure they're complete, which the majority of them are, and we still have a tub of Legos, like loose Legos that we can pull pieces out of. So I'll mention that as we go through some of them and see what still needs a piece or two, but the majority of them are either complete or like 99.9% complete. So let's go through everything that we got and come up with a potential profit. There's some really awesome stuff in here, and there's also some unknowns that I still don't know about. So if you see something that you think is valuable or is cool, definitely shout it out in the comments, because some of this stuff I don't have experience in. All right, the first set that we're going to look at here is Forceman's Hideout, which is set 6054. We've got the box. It does have some damage. I think this is the most damaged box. It has a little bit of a tear in the front. We've got the manual here, which is in good shape. We've got the minifigs, and then we've got the set. It's a pretty small set. It is missing 2 trees, which I think still might be in the tub, like I mentioned. And then the plume that goes in this figure's hat is supposed to be white, but we are missing that, so we're gonna have to locate that. After that, it should be complete. I don't know the exact value of a lot of these sets, so I'm gonna put comps up for each one, but the majority of them are pretty valuable. So awesome first set to go through. That's set number 1. Next up, we've got 2 of the smaller sets here. This one did not come with a box, 6894. It looks like some kind of spaceship. We do have the minifigures and all the pieces for it. So the way this one worked out, it's got a robot in the back here. The way this one worked out is all these pieces in the manual were in another set's box. And so this was kind of a bonus set because I didn't know this was in here since there was no box. It's a pretty cool set. You can move the wings back and forth. The canopy opens, and then there's like I guess I'd say like an R2-D2 robot back here controlling something with the tools. There's a wrench and like a hammer back there. So that's a cool bonus set to get out of here. And then one of the smaller sets, the 6030 Catapult. This one is complete. It's got all of its pieces here. It's got its minifigures and the manual in the box. The box is a little bit beat up, but not in too bad a shape. Not worth a ton, but definitely cool to put that one together. Okay, next up is Lego set 6074 Black Falcon's Fortress. The box is in pretty decent shape. The manual is in good shape. However, this one is missing a few pieces that I still need to look for. I replaced them out. Like these should be green. There's no string. This flag is broken and it's glued on. It was glued on by whoever I bought it from. I was gonna buy a replacement on eBay, but the flag is like $40 or $50 itself, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to disclose that it's broken. Other than that, we have all the pieces. We've got all the minifigures. I think this one's decently valuable. Again, this is the Black Falcon's Fortress Lego set 6074. All right, so we've got 2 sets on the table here. We're gonna start with 6071, which is the Forstman's Crossing set. We've got the box, the manual, and this is complete. We've got all the minifigures, their accessories, and all of the pieces for the set. So that is an awesome one. And then next up, we've got the Siege Tower 6061. And again, this one is complete. So it's almost like a little catapult kind of thing. And you can turn this wheel to get the platform to come up with the rope. So that is cool to see. And then we've got all of our minifigures. He just died. We've got the wall with the ladder, and then our manual, and a pretty decent looking box for 6061. So both of these sets pretty awesome and complete. Really cool to get. Next up is set 6060, which is the Knights Challenge. This is a rather simple set as far as pieces go. There's only 160 and it's not too detailed to set up. We are missing a few pieces out of this. I did order one of them on eBay because I think it'll be important to sell it. And then I think we have the others still in the tub that I need to get out. I know we're missing the tree. And if you look at that red figure's hat back there, I don't have that. So I actually ordered the entire figure on eBay for like 15 bucks because I want to make this set complete. Because I do think it's decently valuable. The box is in pretty good shape. A little bit of damage, not terrible. Pretty decent shape. But let's go through it here. So we've got the manual, we've got the set. So as I mentioned, this figure back here, missing the hat, Everything else as far as figures wise should be there. And then we are missing the tree that goes in the back here. But I think this might be one of the top 3 sets as far as value goes. I could be wrong on that. Like I said, I'm flashing up comps so you'll be able to see. But this one's pretty valuable, especially for how simple and how few pieces are in here. I did want to mention that the tray that all the pieces come in does have a little bit of damage. Like there's some, I don't know, it looks like paint or like a silver marker was put on here and then some other staining. Not terrible, but that'll probably lower the value a little bit. It's inside the box, so it shouldn't be a big deal, but just wanted to point that out. Okay, we are coming up on the end of the castle system sets. So we've only got a couple left, and then we'll do some space sets and a couple others. So next up is 6077. This is the Forstman's River Fortress. I think this one's pretty valuable. We've got the manual. The box is in pretty nice shape. I do like how these old vintage boxes, you could open up and look at the pieces in there. They don't really do that anymore. And I also like how they have the trays. The newer sets don't even have a tray. They're just the plastic bags of pieces stuffed in there. So these older sets are a little bit higher quality and nicer to look at. Okay, so as far as the set, we are missing a few pieces that I still need to find. So we don't have this raft set up yet, and we're missing one of the green hats with the feather or plume in it. So this is what we've got of the raft so far. We're gonna have to look for the rest, which I think we'll be able to find, but that is outstanding. And then the hat back here, you'll see that person is missing a hat and their plume or feather. Everything else is complete. So really cool looking set. I love the way these castles look with the trees and the leaves up there and just the old style of the castle Lego sets. This appears to be on water. So all these guys are standing in water as far as I have it set up, I think, because this looks to be some sort of raft. This one's in a tree and these two are battling out front of the water. So cool set to see. We've got a little target down there for the archers to use. I do think this one's rather valuable. We do need to still complete it with a few pieces, but I'm happy with the way it's turning out. Okay, second to last castle set here. We've got the camouflaged outpost. Again, box is in pretty good shape. The back does have a little bit of damage right there, but the front's looking pretty good. We are missing a couple of pieces. We're missing the 2 trees right here, and that is all we're missing currently. You'll see here, I really like these old sets like this. This is on a hinge, so it like closes up to an actual building. And then here it's got like a secret area in there. We've got our chest with like the 2 goblets in there. We've got our manual and then all of the figures. The figures are all complete, so we just need to get those 2 trees and then this set will be complete. I don't know the value of this one. I think it's decent, but we'll see when we put the comps up. This is a 221 piece set. And let's move on to the last castle set. So we saved the most valuable set for last. We've got the Dungeon Master's Castle 6086 with the box and the manual, and it is 100% complete. The box is in really good shape, except on the inside on the corners here. This one's still intact. This one has some damage where it's been torn. But other than that, it's really, really nice. It is a pretty big box, so it's gonna cost a bit to ship. But I think the buyer is going to pay for shipping because this seems to be a pretty rare and valuable set, especially complete. Got the manual here in really good shape. We've got all the minifigures with their horses and their accessories. There is a ghost in this set. It glows in the dark. I'll be honest, I don't know why there's a ghost in this set. It seems really random to me. Then we've got the actual castle here. It is complete with the string, the wheel where you can make the drawbridge go up. Let's see if we can do that really quick. Well, it takes a while, but you can see it moving down there. Put it back down. Complete with the accessories, all the flags. The flags are not broken or anything like that. Really awesome set to get complete. So very happy with this one. This is definitely the most valuable set in the lot. We're gonna put a comp up for it. But as far as my research goes, this should pretty much cover our entire buy cost of $500. I forgot to mention, this one actually has 2 strings on it, because we've got the door we can open. So that is really cool. Okay, so the last set was the end of the castles, and now we're moving on to some space sets, and then we've got a few more. We're coming down to the home stretch as far as the Legos go. We've only got a couple more to look at. We've got 6932 with the manual and box, and then 6895 with the manual and box. Both are complete. This one's really awesome because if you move these this middle piece here, it actually turns the wheels. So I think that one's pretty cool. Just gonna roll into that box there. And then we've got the Futuron Star Defender 200 right here. It is complete. It does have a little guy in a car. Kind of cool. But this is 100% complete. Really awesome set. Cool old space sets to see. We've got this. This looks like it came from the Space Police set. And then this just looks like some sort of space set. So let's move on to the last few sets here. All right, next up we've got 6955, another one of the Space Police sets. It is the Space Lockup Isolation base. So we've got the box and the manual again. Box is in really nice shape, and this one just has one big clear opening to look at the set when it's still new. Then we've got our little miniature vehicle here. I'm not really sure what that is. Our other two minifigures, and then our isolation base. So this one isn't too cool. Honestly, it doesn't interest me all that much. The coolest thing about it is it's got this like thing you can turn and shoot the satellite or X-ray or whatever that is straight up into the air. And then we've got like the isolation pod or something up here that you can take off. And the set, the minifigure's actually locked in there. I don't have them locked in there right now because that's kind of mean. But this set's pretty cool as far as the mechanical motion. Other than that, not too exciting. It looks pretty simple, but it actually did take me some time to build. So it is 247 pieces. Let's move on to the last two sets, and then we'll move on to the Star Wars and G.I. Joe stuff. Okay, last bit of Legos here. We've got two unrelated sets. So first up, we've got the Firehouse 6385. It is a 392 piece set with the manual and the box, and it is almost complete. We are missing 4 sets of flowers. So there should be 2 over here and 2 over here. I'm actually not going to search for those too much or order them on eBay because this one isn't too valuable of a set. I want to say around like 75 to 100 bucks. So I'm not going to put too much time or effort into finding those. Not having the flowers should lower the value a little bit, but we're not going to take too much time to look for it. So Firehouse 6385. And then next up, we've got 6274, the Caribbean Clipper. It is complete with the manual, and the sales are in here. I didn't put them on because it just seemed like a lot of effort, and I don't think it's really going to change the value to have them on there in a picture. On eBay, I'll just put that they're included. But this is complete. It's got the flags up here. Like I said, it's got the sales. It's got the minifigures with all their accessories, the coins in the chest there, some of the cannons. These cannons are actually non-firing right now. I don't know if there's an issue with them or if they're not supposed to fire, so I will have to put that in my description. But otherwise, everything else is complete here, and I think this is a decently valuable set. Okay, so that was it for all of the sets of Legos. Then we've got this miscellaneous bag of figures and other pieces. So you'll see in there's like another one of those pods from the space set, actually 2 of them. Some wall pieces, some horses, a bunch of figures, and some miscellaneous stuff. So I'm not sure if there's some more manuals in the boxes that I need to look through and see if we can put together some more sets with all the loose pieces, or if we're just going to sell all this separately. These 2 bags of stuff should be worth probably a couple $100 at the very least. So this is just miscellaneous stuff, but I definitely wanted to bring it up since it was included in the purchase. All right, guys, so we finished all the Legos. We're moving on to some of the toys that we got. So up first is this Captain Power toy. It is a PowerJet XT7 fighter. It looks like a kind of like handheld gun weapon, but it's a ship. I don't know anything about it. It was before my time. We've got the box. It looks like all the manuals, a bunch of different figures that go with it. The gun, and then this came out of the box too. I'm assuming this goes with it as well, and it's not like a G.I. Joe thing. But I don't know too much about it. I thought it'd be worth a decent amount. It's probably worth about 50 bucks complete in box, I think. Again, I don't know much about it, so we'll put up a comp, but Captain Power complete in box is awesome. And then we'll move on to what I believe is some of the G.I. Joe stuff. So we've got a Python Patrol 2 car. A lot of this stuff is still really dirty and dusty. I haven't cleaned the G.I. Joe stuff yet, but we've got this vehicle. We've got another G.I. Joe military vehicle, again, super dirty. Then we've got a raft or a little boat with a motor on it. I think this is G.I. Joe. And then I'm not sure about this Skull Squadron. Looks like kind of an aircraft carrier or something. This might be Micro Machines. It is super dirty, as you can see. I'm gonna have to clean these up. Then we've got a tank. It is from the Slaughter Marauders set or series of pieces. I don't know too much about it, but we've got that. Then we've got a whole small tub of old G.I. Joe stuff. Again, I don't know much about G.I. Joes, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to scan all these like image-wise and see what they're worth on eBay. I did a few of them, and the majority of them were showing up between like $12 and $15. There are a couple like Batman figures in here, but the majority of this stuff is G.I. Joe. I have had a bunch of He-Man stuff in the past, and I noticed that their joints go bad, especially like the ones in the hips. I have noticed that that's been happening on some of these G.I. Joe ones as I looked over some of them. So we'll have to disclose that in our listing. So that's all the G.I. Joe figures. Again, I didn't pull them up. We're not going to look at them separately because I think the majority of them are going to fall in the $12 to $15 range, but there's a ton in here. So we're going to make a good amount of money on that stuff. Then we've got one more vehicle here for G.I. Joe. I believe it is a Ghost Rider, I think, a sort of spaceship or aircraft. It is pretty big. It's super dirty. I don't know if all the pieces are here, but I wanted to show everybody since it's included in the buy. So not sure of the value there. Let's move on to the Wii stuff and the Star Wars stuff, and then we'll wrap up the video. All right, guys, so last table here, we've got some Star Wars figures, a Scout Walker vehicle, and then the Wii stuff. So let's go through the Star Wars stuff first. This is kind of out of my realm as well. I do know some of these hold some value. I did look them up, and I knew before looking them up that there were some valuable ones, especially I think the Boba Fett. We don't have one of those, but let's go through everything. So I'm not exactly sure what this vehicle is. I'll have to look that up. Same with this and same with this. I have watched all the Star Wars. I'm not like a huge Star Wars fan. So some of you who know everything about Star Wars are probably like, what an idiot, he doesn't know this stuff. But I'll have to look these up and see what they are and see what they're worth, and we'll put comps up for everything. Okay, so next up, let's take a look at some of the figures. I didn't think that any of these were gonna hold much value because we don't have any big names in here as far as I can tell. No Boba Fett, there's not a lot of accessories. However, some of these Ewoks hold a good amount of value, I think, especially this one. We've got his staff. It does have a little bit of damage. You can't really see it right where his hand goes. Maybe that's why. I think this one is worth over $100 for this really small figure, and it's got the staff to make it complete. That was an awesome find. These other Ewoks, I think, are worth decent money, like 20 to 50 bucks. And then we've got a couple more down here. This one is a tiny little guy. Again, I don't know the value for everything, but we'll put comps up for some of these, not all of them. I don't think any of these middle ones are too valuable. If I find the NER, I'll put a comp up, but the Ewoks were the surprise of the bunch here. And then we've got a couple of additional accessories. I don't know what this goes to, and I'm assuming this kind of staff or axe goes with one of these figures. I'll have to figure out which one. Next up, we've got the Star Wars Return of the Jedi Scout Walker. I can't get this to stand up properly. I'm gonna have to look at it a little bit more in detail. I do not know if it's complete at this time, but we do have the box. It does have a little bit of damage on it right here from tape. And then the back isn't in the best shape either. We do have, I'm not sure what's in there, if that's like a little manual or what. But again, I don't know if this is complete. If the box was in really nice shape and it was complete and it was standing up and really nice, I think we could get a couple $100 out of it. Either way, it's awesome to see. I don't think we should have any problem getting 50 bucks for it, but I'll put comps up. And then last and probably least of the stuff that we got at this garage sale was the Wii stuff. We're not gonna go through it all, but we've got a Wii console, and then we've got a copy of Wii Sports Resort, and Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games. That's probably only notable things to see out of this lot. Again, we see Wii stuff and video games a lot on this channel, so I really wanted to focus on the Legos, action figures, and other things, but pretty good stuff in here. Probably at least $100 worth of value in this box, maybe a little bit more. All right, guys, so that is everything that we got at this garage sale. I'm really happy with the buy. We should make a really good amount of money on this stuff. This all happened, like I said, from messaging somebody who had a garage sale ad up and going to get a few things and it turning into much more than I was expecting. So that will happen from time to time. Just stay on it, keep looking for stuff, and you will find deals like this. This is going to be really awesome. This was a different video than I normally have because I'm normally doing video games, but finding old toys like this is definitely something that I want to get into more and learn about more, and this will be a good first step. Obviously, I knew the Legos were going to have some good value if they were complete, and I took a chance on them because everything was stacked on a shelf nicely and it looked like they took care of their stuff pretty nicely. So I figured that they would be complete, mostly complete, and in decent shape. So I took a chance on that and it seemed to have panned out pretty well. We're gonna keep going to garage sales the rest of the season, hopefully get some good stuff. I've got another project I'm kind of working on right now, which should probably span over another month or two. So that video is not gonna be out for a while, but I'm hoping that we get some good stuff out of that idea that I'm putting together. So a lot more stuff to come. We're selling a lot of stuff. We're growing on YouTube. I'm really appreciating everybody that's been watching, liking, and subscribing. We're almost at 500 subscribers. So if you're watching and you're enjoying the content and want to see more, please consider subscribing and liking on the videos. It definitely helps me out. It helps grow the channel's reach and I really appreciate it. So as usual, I appreciate everybody that's been watching, liking, and subscribing, and we'll keep churning out these videos, hopefully finding more awesome stuff, and I will see everybody on the next video.